What's going on, Sumolings? Welcome to another product walkthrough webinar. I am Lindsay, and today we are joined by the team over at WP Courseware. This helps anyone with a WordPress website easily create and sell online courses, turning their knowledge into profit. It is available on AppSumo right now, starting at $39 for a lifetime deal. Before we dive in though, a few quick things. First, if you want to tell us a little bit about your use case, the courses you're trying to teach, anything like that, or if you just want to say hi to us, of course, you can go ahead and do that in the chat room. If you have any questions, though, about the tool, the deal, how to get set up, go ahead and leave those questions in the Q&A box down below this video. We do have somebody from the team here to answer them. We'll also be circling to questions at the end of the walkthrough if anybody's watching the replay. And the last thing is, yes, there will be a replay of this available. Hopefully it'll be available later this afternoon, but if my day gets terribly busy, then it might be up as late as Monday or sometime over this weekend. Hello, Thomas in Minnesota. It's nice to have you. All right, so that's enough of me. Hey, Ben, how are you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Thanks, Lindsay. Hello, Sumolings, and welcome. We're so excited to talk to you guys about WP Courseware today.
It is great to have you here. I'm going to pass this over to you for the walkthrough. Let me know when you're ready to take questions.
All right, let's do this. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And just to get confirmation, Lindsay, can you tell me if you can see my screen?
Yep, it looks good.
All right, so here we go, guys. So as you know, we're WP Courseware, and we launched WP Courseware back in 2012. It was an interesting deal. Nate and I were working on a project together. We were building an online course, and there simply wasn't a tool for WordPress for online courses. So needless to say, we built a really good course, which I thought was a great course. And unfortunately, the course didn't do so hot. But out of that experience came the idea for WP Courseware. So we got our heads together. We built WP Courseware. We launched in 2012. So we were first to market. So the cool thing about WP Courseware is this is the first LMS or original LMS, I should say, for WordPress. So we've been around for quite a while, and we're excited to be working with AppSumo. So what I want to do today is just give you guys a rundown of how WP Courseware works. It's pretty simple. We love the fact that it's a simple tool to use. It's not difficult. And also you can have a course up and running fairly quickly, and you can be selling and making money pretty quickly as well. So as you know, it's a plugin. So when you install WP Courseware, you will be taken here obviously to your dashboard, and this is where I'm going to start on the dashboard here. So the dashboard here just has a small widget here that that'll give you just some basic reports as far as sales are concerned. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you over to the WP Courseware settings area, because this is really where you're going to get everything set up and lay the foundation for everything that you're going to do with WP Courseware. So right in this area here, you're going to configure things that have to do with your courses. Okay, so the way WP Courseware works is it's hierarchical. So you start off with a course, and under the course, you'll have modules or multiple modules. And within each module, you can have a course unit or multiple course units. And then within each course unit, you can have a quiz. So that's kind of the hierarchy of how courses work. And so the courses page here that you see here, this is actually going to be the equivalent of a kind of an archive page. So if you're versed in WordPress, you know that a archive page for your blog posts kind of just displays all of your posts for your blog. And so that's kind of very similar here. It's a course listing. It looks just like an archive page. So if I were to go, if we were to go look at the front end here, and you can see, I've actually set up the home page or the front page to be that course listing page, or we could go to the courses page here, which looks exactly the same way. Okay, so the other thing that's cool about WP Courseware, this is a new feature that we added within the last few months, is memberships. And so we have some really basic membership functionality, which means that anybody enrolled into a particular course will have access to premium content. So for example, let's just say I have a course on WordPress, okay, like teaching WordPress stuff. And let's just say I have like a few pages that have some premium content. Now these are pages, not course content, pages. You can actually hide the content of those pages based on enrollment. So if a student enrolls into that particular course, they have access to the premium content that's associated with that course. And then you have some stuff here with permalinks and taxonomies. I'm not going to sit here and bore you with that. But that's kind of a general overview of courses. Now, modules are not a custom post type, so you won't see a module setting here, but units are. Units are a custom post type as well. And so here you have some basic stuff. You can toggle on and off your comments. The cool thing about WP Courseware is you can drip out your units. You can drip out your units based on calendar date, or you can do it based on enrollment date. For example, if a student enrolls, let's just say today, you can say, I want unit number 2 to be offered to him 3 days from now. So you can do calendar date or from time of enrollment. The other thing that you can do here, this was kind of a recent feature that we added. A lot of people don't call their units units. And so when we first launched this, since we were the first LMS, we had nothing to kind of compare to. And so this is just kind of what we were using at the time, the terminology. We were using units, but you can call it a lesson, a lecture, or if you have something totally different that you want to call it, you have the option to do so. Again, you have stuff with permalinks and taxonomies. Again, I'm not going to bore you with that. The cool thing about WP Courseware is it's a full package. It's a full solution for selling online courses, which means it comes with 2 payment gateways. You're going to get Stripe and you're going to get PayPal Standard right out of the box. So there's no additional plugins, nothing else necessary in order to sell plugins. In order to sell courses. We sell plugins. So what you can do here is you can configure all of your checkout stuff, all of your shopping cart stuff. These are pages that are automatically created with WP Courseware. The minute you install it, these pages will get created. Now, there's a little bit of a caveat to that. If you're using, let's just say like WooCommerce or like Easy Digital Downloads or a membership plugin like, let's just say Wishlist Member, Paid Memberships Pro, MemberPress, MemberMouse, any one of those types of plugins, these pages will not get automatically created because we're taking into consideration the fact that you might be using those other plugins to sell courses. And we have integrations for all of those plugins, which is a really cool thing. We offer all of our integrations for free. So we integrate with all of the mainstream membership plugins, WooCommerce, Easy Digital Downloads. We have seen quite an influx of requests for ThriveCart, which was pretty interesting. We up until our AppSumo launch here, we've not had many, or if at all any, requests for ThriveCart. That one is quickly moving up the ranks in our Trello board. So at some point we may end up integrating with ThriveCart. But anyway, continuing here. So these are all just options here that you can configure for checkout. Here's your payment gateways. The payment gateways are pretty easy to configure. You basically pop in and you can enable, like for example, for Stripe, you enable it. You configure it with your publishable key, your secret key, and your webhook secret key. And the reason I'm focusing on Stripe is because Stripe honestly is a lot easier to use than PayPal. PayPal Sandbox, like if you're testing transactions, PayPal Sandbox is sort of a headache. So anyway, I have this set up here in test mode. Just to give you guys a really quick rundown, if you're in Stripe, it's super easy to get a hold of those keys. You can get your API keys here in Stripe. There's one key, there's the other one here for the secret key. And then you need a webhook key, which is available when you create a webhook. You will get that secret signing key right there. And so those are your 3 keys that you have to enter there. And that's pretty much it. Once you have those keys and you have Stripe enabled, you're ready to take payment. So there's nothing more to that. You can set a default tax rate on all your purchases. And let's see, we also have coupons. I'll go through that here in just a little bit. We can cover coupons. And then we have just a couple other things. So the checkout process, you can force SSL for, I believe for Stripe, it is required for you to have SSL on your site. And I mean, pretty much nowadays, everybody has SSL. I think Google at some point is going to force everybody to have SSL. So that's definitely something you want to have. Redirected checkout, that just means when somebody clicks the add to cart button, it automatically goes to checkout. Okay, and then you have the option to show a privacy policy, and then you can specify a privacy policy page. So when they are on checkout, they would have to check the box to view the privacy policy in order to actually complete checkout. So those are your checkout payment gateway settings. I'm going to move on to students. So we have the students account page. So the student account page is really cool. It's just a dashboard page where your students can come in. They can take a look at all of their courses. It's kind of like a big course outline for all the courses they're enrolled into. They can view their orders, subscriptions. They have their user information. They can change their password. And so they've got all of that available to them right on the dashboard. And I'll show you that on the front end here in just a few minutes. And then these options down here, this is what controls what is displayed on that course outline for the student page. So there's a course outline there, and there's various options you can enable, disable, just a checkbox here. And that's all there is for that. The emails here that are configured here in this section are really specific to whether or not you're using WP Courseware for your shopping cart payment gateway. If you're not using WP Courseware for that, these emails here are a moot point. You don't need to configure these, but they're super easy to come in here and configure. They're just templates. You can use template tags, and it's super easy to configure that. I'm not going to go into each one of these. And then we have this styling option here, which is cool. This just allows you to do some basic styling on the front end with buttons and quiz background and things like that. So you can come in here and you can configure all of that here. If you want, you can actually use the customizer on the front end. So you can click here, or you can just jump into the customizer right on the front end, and you have those same exact options right here. So same exact options as you would in the back end. And I'm going to go ahead and close out of that for now. Okay, so the licensing tab, obviously WP Courseware is a licensed product. In order to receive updates to your plugin, which is very important, by the way, because we do bug fixes and new features, you have to have your license activated right here. So obviously it has to be a legitimate license, that sort of thing. One of the questions that we typically get is if this is not functioning, like if we don't have it licensed, we disable features, and that's just not the case. It's not a WordPress. It's something that the WordPress community would frown upon, and it's not something we would do anyway. So you don't have to have it activated. It's not going to disable any functionality, but you will not get updates again, which is super important to have. Okay. So the cool thing is we have a ton of support articles written. I think we have over 100 support articles written, which you can access here on the support tab just by clicking the little question mark down here in the lower right-hand corner. And you can type in here what you're looking for, just type in some keywords there. We also have, quite a few short codes that you can use with WP Courseware. And so basically you can come in here and look at the various short code snippets that you want to add. So we have one for course. Course is just basically, it's an outline. They call it a static outline. It's not dynamic because it doesn't determine whether a student is enrolled or not. It's going to show that course outline regardless whether a student is enrolled or not. Now, what happens though, if a student is enrolled and they log into the website, the links for the outline, they become active. And so, so this is something you would probably want to use. Like, let's just say you built a custom sales page and you want to show the course outline to give a gist of what your course content is all about. This is probably the short code that you want to use. Then we have a course, what I call the course progress. This is a dynamic short code. And so what I mean by that is it's going to determine, or it's going to automatically determine what courses your students are enrolled into. So the student has to be enrolled and has to be logged into the site And then this short code will kind of take over and determine which courses that student is enrolled into, and it'll list it out. It'll dynamically list them out. It does it automatically. You can specify if you want which courses you want to be visible on this particular short code, but by default, it's going to just show everything that that student is enrolled into. Then we have a progress bar, which is really cool. You can use this like on a widget. You can use this within the content of the course unit. And all this does is just show the progress relative to the course that you're viewing at that moment. And then we have the course enrollment buttons. These are just enrollment buttons that you can create. Again, if you're doing, custom pages where you're, maybe it's just a custom sales page or whatnot, landing page, you can use this particular short code to have an enrollment button. Okay, so I'm just going to move on to tools really quick, just kind of cover a couple basics here, which is just basically you can export your course, you can export certain portions of your course, and all you have to do is select it from the drop down and then click export course. We have a couple of import options, and this is kind of cool because we get a lot of questions about bulk enrollment. So you can import your course here, which is a great feature, but this is the one that we get a lot of questions on. So basically what you do is you can click right here, example CSV file, and you can download a sample CSV file, and then you fill it out. So basically it's going to have user email, and then you're going to be able to specify which courses you want that student to be enrolled into. Now, when the import happens, if that email address that's specified, if that user does not have an account, a WordPress account, one gets generated, and then they get enrolled into the courses that you've specified. If that account already exists, it's just going to add the courses you've added to that user's enrollment list. So that one, we get a lot of questions on that. And then we have quiz questions. This just makes it easier to import questions in bulk. And again, you can export or you can download a sample CSV file, and that way you know the format for the CSV. And then we have just a couple other things here. If you're turning in a support question, a lot of times we'll ask for this system info report. It just gives us some basic information about your web server and configuration for PHP, that kind of thing. And then we have some cool utilities here. A lot of times this is really just for us when we're doing support. It just helps us, some utilities that help us fix some issues. So with that said, that's kind of all the boring stuff. And so I want to kind of jump in now to kind of the meat and potatoes of what we're looking at here. And that's courses. Okay. So when you build a course, it's super easy to start. You can add a new course. You can see I've already got a couple courses here, but we'll add a new course here. And the first thing you want to do is just come in here and give it a title. Okay. Now you'll notice we've got two sections. We've got the course builder here at the top, and we've got course settings. Now the course settings, these settings are specific to this course. And the course builder, this is where you're going to add course content. So the way we've kind of engineered this is so that you can kind of rapid fire, set things up quickly in here. So you can click here, add a module, and I'm not going to get real specific here. I'm just going to give these some generic names. And I'll add just a couple of modules in here. All right, so now we've got two modules. That was super easy. And now you'll notice down here, I've got two different modules. The cool thing about the course builder is everything is click and draggable. And so you can click and you can drag. Let's just say you thought, oh man, I want to move that module up one or not. You can bounce those back up and forth, and you can do the same thing with units and quizzes. So within each module, like I mentioned earlier, you can add units. So we're going to add a unit to module 1. And again, I'm going to give it a really basic title here. And we can even add a second one. And since I'm going to just try to populate the other module, we'll just add a third one as well. Okay, so you'll see it's adding them in the place where I clicked add unit. So if I were to click add unit down here, it would add it into that specific module. And honestly, like, it really doesn't matter, because if you wanted to, you could click and drag your units around it as well. So the quizzes are a little bit different, because there's a lot of configuration to the quizzes. The way you set up a quiz, and this is pretty simple. I mean, you're going to add a quiz here. We'll just call this quiz 1. And by the way, and I should have showed you this on units as well, but you could actually select existing quizzes if you wanted to. If I wanted to select one of these quizzes, these are quizzes that are not currently assigned to a unit. They're just available for assignment. You can use one of these, or you can use the one that you've configured. So we're just going to configure a new one. And just to back up really quick, sorry about that. You can do the same thing with units. And so let me go and add a unit. Yeah, you can select existing units as well. So these are units that have not been assigned. So with that said, so you'll see we have a quiz here, but you're thinking, well, how did I didn't add any questions to that. Yep. So the way you do that, you just click on the quiz here and it opens up in a separate tab. And now you can configure this particular quiz. And we have three options here. So the first one is survey mode. That's not, obviously, it's not a quiz. It's just a survey. It allows you to send out surveys to your students. You can ask them questions. And then once you have surveys that have been answered, you can actually download a CSV file that has all the data compiled into that particular survey. Now we have blocking and non-blocking quizzes. And so what's the difference between these two? So blocking quizzes are just that. They're going to block you from progressing in the course unless you actually pass your quiz. So you can specify a grade for that particular quiz. So if let's just say I want to configure this as a blocking quiz, and you'll notice if I go over here to quiz behavior settings, the pass mark that's required for this quiz is going to be, I don't know, we'll just say 75%. So you have to get a 75% if you want to be able to continue to the next unit. And so you can offer unlimited attempts, or you can specify a certain amount of attempts. Let's just say we do one attempt, and let's just say the student totally bombs it. He gets a 50. Well, he ran out of attempts, right? So he can't retake the quiz. Well, all the instructor has to do is come in and allow another attempt. So it's pretty easy. You get an email, or the administrator or the instructor gets an email notifying them that there's a quiz that's available for grading. Once it's graded, it'll also let them know, hey, this student's out of attempts. You either need to give him another attempt or do something because he's stuck. But anyway, you can have unlimited attempts. The unlimited attempts also allows the student to retake it. So once the quiz is graded, they can retake it on the front end. They just click a button, retake, and they can retake it. You can set up your quizzes for paging. In other words, you can have one question per page. And once they answer that question, it'll just keep cycling through until the very end. There's a couple of other configurations for that. And then you can actually have a timer on your quiz. The result settings, this is just determining what's going to be available on that quiz. What do you want that student to see once they've completed the quiz and once it's been graded? So whenever they come back to that page with the quiz, this is actually what's going to display there. So you can show things like the correct answer, user's answer, the explanation. You can show them all the possible answers if it was multiple choice, and things like that. You can also allow your students to download the quiz results. You can show results by tags, so you can actually tag your questions, and you can show completion time as well. Custom feedback, this is just based on, like, if you want to send a feedback message, this is an on-screen feedback message based on a particular score. So if they score, let's say, above 50% on a certain tag, you can display a message there. And here's where you add questions. And so you can add one of 4 types of questions: multiple choice, true, false, open-ended, or file upload. So the first two, multiple choice and true, false, those questions obviously can be automatically graded. by automation. So the instructor doesn't have to do anything. Those automatically just get graded. Now, open-ended questions are a little different because that's soliciting input from the user. So that's a little bit more difficult to automate because you would have to take into consideration misspellings and capitalization and things like that. So that is not an automatically graded question. And also file upload. That's another one that's just not feasible to have for automatic grading. So again, if you're using a blocking quiz and you use one of the first two types of questions only on this quiz, they can progress as long as they pass it, because that'll automatically get graded. If you use an open-ended question though, and let's just say plus a true, false, and a multiple choice, those questions will get automatically graded, but you or the administrator, instructor will have to grade the open-ended questions. We also have a question pool, which is great because you can add questions from the pool, and it's super easy to add questions from the pool. And again, so we can add a true, false. I'll just add something in here. All right. And you just save your questions. Really quick, I just want to show the non-blocking, and the main difference here with the non-blocking quiz is you're never hindered from progressing into the next unit. And so you could totally bomb the quiz. And when I say bomb the quiz, what you do is you actually set a recommended score. So there's not like a pass score. You don't necessarily have to pass it. It's just like, we highly recommend you get a 50% or whatever. And again, you can have unlimited attempts. You could actually set it to no recommended score, and it is what it is. Whatever the student gets, they get. What a lot of people like about this one is that students can come back with unlimited attempts, and they can retake that quiz over and over as many times as they want, but it doesn't hinder them from moving on in the course. So this is a really cool question type, and it has all the same options as the blocking quiz. So we already touched on all of that. So we can just save that. Okay, so now back over to our course. So we've added a course, we've added a module or two modules, we've added 4 units. So that's a really quick rundown of the course builder. And I know I'm running out of time, so I'm going to try to hustle here really quick. I'm going to cover just some really some of the more important things. So course access, basically what this means is you can have a course be automatic or manual. Now, this is assuming that you're not using a paid course. This is not a paid course. This is a free course. So automatic, all that means is if anybody registers on your WordPress site by any means, they will automatically get enrolled into this course. If you set it to manual, it's just that. You have to go in and manually grant access to this course for any student, okay? Closed means no enrollment whatsoever is happening for this particular course. Okay, payments, I'm going to go down to payments. There's 3 types of payments. Well, 2 really. You can obviously offer the course for free. There's a one-time purchase. So this is a payment type. But let's just say you wanted to also do installments. So you could have, $10 or $10 for the payment price for the initial payment. And then you want the installments to be, 3 payments of $20. And then you can determine the interval for that as well. It could be daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, semi-yearly, yearly, however you want to bill for that particular course. And then you have subscription, which is just that. It's going to be one set price over an interval until they cancel. Now, once they cancel, or if let's just say their payment type, like if they're using credit card, if it expires, they will be de-enrolled from the course up until the point where they're paid up to. Obviously, if they've paid for the month, they'll have it till the end of the month, and then they get de-enrolled automatically. We have messages. These are on-screen messages relative to units and courses and things like that. You have emails that are automatically generated for course completion, module completion, quiz grades, that sort of thing. Certificates. You have the ability to create certificates. I'll cover that here in just a little bit more detail shortly. And then you have prerequisites. Prerequisites are really cool because you can set up other courses so that the students have to complete those courses prior to course that you're viewing right now. So for example, this course here, let's just say I wanted my students to complete this course first. I would set that as a prerequisite. And you could set up multiple prerequisites for any course. Bundles are really cool also. What this does is allows you to bundle enrollment. And basically all this means is, let's just say I want to offer this course. Whenever someone enrolls into this course, I'm going to allow them to get 2 other courses as well. So they're just bundled courses. And even within each one of these individual courses, I can create bundles within those courses. The bundle is based on a single course enrollment. Instructor, there's basically, at this point, there's only one role for WP Courseware. Obviously, it's taking advantage of an admin role and a subscriber role, but there's an instructor role, and the instructor role is just that. They're an instructor. They can create courses, and they can do anything that an administrator can do to courses, but it's only in the context of the courses that they have created. So they have to be working on their own courses. They can enroll students into their courses. They can view their students. They can view their classroom. They can view their grade book, but it's only in the context of courses that they've created. So you can have multiple courses, and every course can have a different instructor. Now the administrator can view everything. So I can go and look at any instructor's courses and modify them if I want to. And then these are just some tools for enrollment and resetting progress. We do have access expiration. So courses, you can set courses to expire based on enrollment date or a specific calendar date. So that in a nutshell is courses, creating a course, setting it up. And so I'm going to move on real quickly just over to certificates. I'll cover, let me go ahead and save that. And then I'll cover, let's see, certificates, I'll cover coupons, and then we'll look at front end really quick. And I might just be out of time at that point. So let's go over to certificates. Certificates are really cool. We just added this very recently in the last couple months. Before all we had was a basic certificate and basic functionality for that. And now we've created kind of this little certificate builder, if you will. And we'll just give this a title. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I have a plugin enabled that I should not have enabled. I'm sorry. So I'm going to have to change something here really quick. I had the classic editor activated, which I was doing some testing, and I forgot to deactivate that. Okay, because the certificates use the block editor, not the classic editor. This is what's really cool about it. Okay, so we can come in, and I may need to recreate this one. Let's just add a new one. There we go. Okay, so basically you get a template. And right now we've got two basic templates and a blank template. The blank template is just that you can configure it in every section with what you want. The template 1 and 2, they're sort of pre-configured. They kind of already have things already placed in certain places, which you can modify to an extent. And I'm just going to pick one of those for sake of time. So you can come in and change anything in here: text color, font size. You can change font family, text alignment. For any one of these little sections here, you can add images for, like, let's just say like you want to put a logo here, or you want to put like a signature, like a PNG of a signature, file for the certificate, so it looks like it's been signed. You can add certificate number. So this was kind of a request we had from a number of our customers. So they wanted to have like a specific number in here. So you can prefix that number, and you can add a number length. So it generates a code. So they have an actual certified number for their certificate. You can change all kinds of things in here. The background of the certificate, you can upload an image for that. So you can do just tons of things in here. And I did not add title to that. So I'm just going to publish that. Okay. what's cool about that, and I'm going to show you just really, really quick. Let's go back into our course that we created. And now I can assign that particular certificate, oops, to this course. So you can use a legacy. This was our legacy certificate right here. This is what you would normally see. And if you're not using the legacy certificate, you can select one of the certificates that you've created and just select that there. And so you can use that particular certificate for multiple courses, or just an individual course. It's really up to you what you want to do with that. So that's a really quick rundown of certificates. And let me move down to coupons. So we'll just do coupons and then I'll show you front end. So coupons are really cool because you can have a different, you can either have a percentage or you can have a fixed discount. You can actually add the discount to the entire cart or just to a particular course. So percentage is just that. It's just going to shave off a percentage. And so you can specify the amount here. So let's just say I wanted to do 15%. You can give it a start and expiration date. We'll call this the AppSumo Rocks coupon code. All right, so then you have some restrictions that you can add here. They have to have a minimum spend or a maximum spend. You can specify it to certain courses or exclude certain courses. You can specify limits per coupon and per user as well. And so all you have to do there is just publish that. And then you just provide people with that particular coupon code. So that's pretty much it. You probably see some menu items over here, and all that is like, we went over modules, but that was in the course builder. We went over units, that's in the course builder. These are just other areas where you can do the same thing in a different interface. Quizzes, you saw that interface. You can add questions directly to the question pool. Students, I didn't cover students. This is kind of a cool thing here. So this is going to be a listing of all your students. It shows you their courses, what their course progress is. You can email them right from this page. You can also reset their progress. So you can come in, reset their progress in a particular course, obviously going back to a specific unit or module. You can also enroll them into courses. So if we click Update Access, it takes you to a page here where you can manually enroll them. And so let's go back to students. If you click on a student, oops, sorry. If you click on a student, it takes you to the student profile. And here you can pretty much do all of the same thing. You can reset progress. You can view their orders. You can enroll them into other courses. You can email the user, or I'm sorry, the student. So there's just a few things you can do here in the student profile area. So that pretty much does it for backend stuff. I know there's a ton of things I probably didn't cover, and maybe you have specific questions, but I'm going to go ahead and transition over to the front end really fast, and then we'll wrap up. So on the front end, as I mentioned before, this is your course listing page. As you can see, I added this particular course to shopping cart. If I click checkout here, it just takes me right to the checkout. I can apply a coupon. It's a really basic checkout process. We can even run through that really fast. This is using, oops. Let's see, I think I filled everything out. Yep. So these are the terms and conditions. I don't know if you remember that in the settings area, we specified that. And then you just place your order. And it should take just a couple seconds. And there you go. So that's all there is to purchasing a course. And now it takes you right over to the student account. So this is the student account page, the dashboard page that I was talking about. Here's that outline. It's a dynamic outline. This is just a listing of all my courses. And so you see here's the how to train dogs. We'll go over that in just a second. Here I can view my orders that I've completed, subscriptions. So if there was a subscription that I purchased, not necessarily just a one-time, but a subscription, it would show up here. And then you have account details and you can log out. So if I go to courses and we go over to unit 1, which we just created, remember we created a basic quiz here. So we can come through here and answer these various questions. And so if you remember, this was a non-blocking quiz. So obviously I got all of these answers right, but what's really cool is it still allows me to retake the quiz. And moreover, it allows me to progress forward. So if I would have got all of those answers wrong, I would still be able to progress to the next unit. So you can go to the next unit. This unit could be content. It could be video content. And so I know that that's probably a question for many of you. So I'm just going to really quickly, I'm going to grab a YouTube video here. I'm going to grab the link here so that I can show, and we'll just edit this unit really quick. All right, and we'll update. And we will go view that unit. Oops, I don't remember what unit that was now. I think that was unit 2, but there we go. Okay, there we go. So you could have video content within your course. I know one question we often get is, can you protect the video content? And yes, you can. There's several options that you have. One option, we do have another plugin called S3 Media Maestro that helps protect video, but there's other options as well. YouTube obviously does not protect video, so this video would be public, so people could see this. So most people probably wouldn't do this unless you're not worried about sharing video content. I just wanted to show you that you can embed video content here. And so you can mark this as completed. We can move on to the next unit and so forth. So you'll see up here, I've got my widget for user progress. I also have a course outline here. And you can navigate back and forth into various units that you have. And I believe that is it. Lindsay, I pretty much ran through all of that, but I can take questions. There are probably specific questions people have, and I'm happy to answer it. I was trying to get through everything, but there's so much more.
Great. And luckily Nate's been here answering all of these questions. And
cool.
On that walkthrough. Yeah, Nate, thank you. Literally, there's only one question here, and it's a follow-up question. So I'm gonna let them continue to chat. Sumolings, if you have any more questions, drop them in the Q&A box. We got one just now. Can the default pages be edited?
So I'm assuming you're talking about units. I'm assuming they're talking about units. So units, WP Courseware uses the single.php template, which comes with your theme. So the answer to that is yes, you can edit any of the templates. In fact, you can create custom templates for course units so that it's not using the single.php. We just chose to use the single.php because most every theme has a single.php. But yes, short answer is yep, you can totally modify it.
Great. All right. Can it be integrated with a visual builder like Elementor or Gutenberg to give design to the pages, singles, or archives? Do you plan to redesign the backend in any way?
So the first question, does it integrate with builders? We don't have any specific integrations with builders. And what I mean by that is there's not, like, for example, like Elementor has, certain modules that you can add, or Beaver Builder has modules that you can add. We don't have any WP Courseware modules that exist within Beaver Builder Elementor. However, yeah, you can use the builder to come in and create your content within course units. Absolutely, 100%. You just don't have specific elements for WP Courseware to put into the pages. As far as redesigning the backend, we wanted to stick kind of with the the WordPress feel. So we feel the backend's pretty relative. We may at some point change up the quiz UI, but for now the admin side is pretty much where we like it.
Cool. Sumolings, if you're putting your questions in the chat, can you please move them over to the Q&A box so that we're sure to answer them? I also believe there's like a limitation on how much text can be sent, so Nate might not be able to respond to you. So just make sure your questions are in the Q&A box. All right, is the system responsive? Yeah.
So basically, WP Courseware kind of just thrives off your theme. So whatever theme you're using, if it's responsive, yeah, it'll follow up whatever your theme is using. It will be responsive.
Awesome. All right, can you show us some like courses in action? Maybe one with a I
Yeah.
have nice template is the
So I thought, hey, why not show our course? So we have some courses available. Nate's done a great job at creating some online courses here. And so here is WP Courseware in action. So as you can see, this is the dashboard. And these are the courses that I'm actually enrolled into. And so we can jump in here and pop into a unit, and you can see kind of what our course looks like here. So you've got, this is obviously a video-based course. And yeah, we can progress through some units here. And it's all video-based on this. This is something that Nate and I have seen in the past 2 to 3 years. Video-based courses are becoming more and more popular, almost a standard now. But anyhow, yeah, you can do some really cool stuff with WP Courseware.
Can you explain one way to lock down non-YouTube videos?
Yeah, so there's a couple of ways. So we have, as I mentioned, we have another plugin called S3 Media Maestro. S3 Media Maestro, what that one does, it integrates with Amazon Web Services. And so you're uploading your videos to S3. You have the option to transcode the video. You also have the option to use CloudFront, for those of you who may be wondering. But when the video is uploaded and you embed it into the site, what it does is it generates a unique URL, and the URL is actually what they call an expiring URL. What that means is you can set an expiry time on that URL. It'll last, say, 30 minutes. And so if somebody goes and kind of digs in your code and finds the URL, and let's just say they post it on a forum, in 30 minutes, that URL is no good. So you can definitely hide it. Now, as far as protecting downloading, S3 Media Maestro does not protect against downloading. You can download it, but then again, a lot of people, even if you were to protect the download, you can take a software like Camtasia, or you can take a software like ScreenFlow, and you can record your screen. So really, there's really no 100% way to lock down video. There's other options out there. There's like Vimeo. Vimeo has, I think, a proprietary player, and you can lock down your videos to a specific domain. Again, that doesn't prevent some people from, like I said, using Camtasia or something. I've even seen people go as far as to pull out their iPhone and they're recording their screen and they're stealing your video. So there's really no 100% way. If anybody says there's a 100% way to protect your video, they're lying to you.
Amazing. Thank you. All right. Marcel asks a few questions regarding the roadmap. One, he says that he sees that the roadmap is not public. How come?
Yeah, I get it. I would love to see the roadmap too. So when we launched in 2012, we had a public roadmap, and it's interesting because within about 3 to 4 months, we saw a very similar product, almost an exact copy of WP Courseware, pop up on the market. And it seemed like they were always in line with our updates. So for purposes of competition and just, we like to just keep that to ourselves. We don't publish it. However, if you are a WP Courseware customer and you have a question about a specific feature, or you have a feature request, I'm glad to answer any of those questions. I can even tell you more or less when we plan on releasing something. What we do with all of those feature requests, we have a huge, and when I say huge, it's huge. It's a huge Trello board. And we document every feature request that comes in, and we add votes. So we vote them up. As soon as somebody comes in, we add a vote to it. And when it gets to a certain limit or a certain number of votes, that's when we start considering, okay, we need to make an integration for this, or we need to add this feature. We need to add this to our plugin. And so that's kind of how the feature request thing works. Unfortunately, we don't share that.
Totally fair. Also, I haven't heard that before, but I kind of, yeah, that makes sense that would happen. All right. So a couple questions then that Marcel has about possible things that would be on the roadmap. If you can give him a little status update.
Sure.
We want to know about downloadable PDF invoices and a script to migrate data from LearnDash to WP Courseware.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've never had, so again, we've never had either one of those feature requests until the AppSumo. And I know that we've already added these to our Trello board. So I can honestly say the scripts for LearnDash, I mean, that one's intriguing because yeah, obviously we're kind of pulling customers. I mean, LearnDash is a great product. We know Justin very well. He's a nice guy, but we love to take his customers. So yeah, I don't know if that's something that we would create soon. The issue with that is I don't know, I'm not familiar enough with LearnDash and their hierarchy. So our hierarchy, remember, is courses, modules, units, quizzes. Now, I don't know if they use the same hierarchy. So it would be difficult for us to create some script like that if they don't use a similar hierarchy. It would take some investigation. We'd have to run it through our developers and see what we could do. But it's on the list. We definitely have that. We're documenting every vote. And I know I think we had maybe 4, maybe 5 votes from the AppSumo launch. And what was the other question? It was LearnDash, and what was the other one?
They wanted to know about downloadable PDF.
Oh yeah, that one we've never had that one. I can tell you, it is on the Trello board. So again, as it makes its way up for requests, we'll definitely add it. That's one thing that has made WP Courseware a really cool product. It's not the fact that me and Nate have these like really super creative ideas for feature requests. It's everything has been based on customer feature requests. The issue is we can't accommodate every single one because there's some that are just specific use cases that will only work in like one instance. And unfortunately, we just can't add that for everybody's sake. But the ones that, we have multiple requests, we're happy to add those and put those features in. And that's what's made WP Courseware a pretty awesome product.
Awesome. All right. Last question that I have here. So Sumo, if you have any more questions, drop them. Now is the time. Can EU businesses that have a VAT number, I don't know if that's what it is, add this during checkout so that it's not added or calculated?
Yeah, I don't have any customers that have had that particular case. And I know we've had a couple of questions regarding that. So I honestly don't have a use case scenario for that. I know that we do have quite a few. I think the UK is probably one of our customers that's on the upper end. I mean, most of our customers are here in the US, but it's definitely something that we probably need to look into. So yeah, unfortunately, I just don't have a use case for that.
Cool. All righty. Well, last question. What is the difference between, they listed a couple here, LearnDash and Sensi LMS. But what can you tell us in general separates you from your competitors?
So we're the original, as I mentioned. Sensei was kind of next to the market, and then LearnDash came a little bit later. All good products. There's nothing wrong with any of them. I think it might come down to things like, we have quite a few integrations. That's one of the things that we did early on is we created a lot of integrations with other e-commerce plugins and membership plugins. We've got a bunch of them. We have, integrations for gamification. We have integrations for GrassBlade LRS because a lot of people want to do tin can API stuff. So we have all these cool integrations, and I know the other plugins probably do too. But yeah, we thrive on feature requests by the customers. We listen to our customers. I think our support team is great. And those are just some of the things that set us apart. Again, they're good products. In fact, I've met some of the other LMS owners, and it's funny. We had a conference out here in Phoenix several years back, and at one single table, we had almost all of the LMS plugin guys all sitting eating dinner together. It was kind of cool. But yeah, that's pretty much what we have for WP Courseware is integrations. We've got great support, and yeah, we listen to our customers, and that's how we base all of our features.
Awesome. All right. Last question here. What is the step-by-step to find short codes and where to place it?
So if you remember down in settings, if you go over to support, you have examples of all the short codes right here. So these are all the short codes that you can use within the course. But if you can't find them there, you don't quite understand them. We also have we have a support site. It's just support.wpcourseware.com. And let me make this a little bit bigger. And in here you have short codes, and you have all of the documentation for short codes here. So you can find your short codes there. You can find them within the plugin. And if you still have questions, feel free to reach out to support. You can log into the member portal at flyplugins.com. And we're glad to answer any of those questions in support. Don't email us. And the only reason I say don't email us is because Nate and I, we get probably about, I don't know, 40,000 emails a day. And your email will get buried. And you won't, I feel really bad. Some people are waiting for days. And yeah, if you go to support, you will get prioritized, and we have a support team that can take care of you. And that way you're not waiting on me, because yeah, you could be waiting for days.
Thank you so much. And Sumolings, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. If you have not already, go ahead and redeem your codes. Oh, Ryan says that he's in Phoenix. So go ahead and redeem your codes on appsumo.com/WP-courseware, starting at $39 for a lifetime deal. And of course, it's backed by AppSumo's 60-day guarantee. So go ahead, get set up, play around with it, and see how it works for you. Once you have done that, go ahead and leave your reviews on the deal page. They are loving them. The people are giving y'all 5 taco ratings left and right. So we're excited.
I love tacos, by the way.
Yes. And again, just one more time, if they want to get in touch with your support team, what's the best way to do that?
So flyplugins.com/member-portal. So if you just go to flyplugins.com, there'll be a link at the top, member portal, once you're logged in. So again, remember, support is only for customers. If you have a general question, you can go to flyplugins.com/questions. But if you want support, yeah, log into the website, click on member portal. There's a support link and there's a form. Just submit the form. We'll get back to you very quickly.
All right. I'm sending somebody over to your support team now to get in touch with y'all and get them help set up. So wonderful.
Awesome.
Sumolings, thank you so much for joining us. And Ben, it's been great having you. And Nate, thank you for answering all of the questions. Y'all have been wonderful.
Awesome. Thanks, Lindsay.
Have a good one.
You guys. Thank you.